And our third main topic today gets submitted to us by Justin Seymour. And Justin Seymour writes, so, Taron Egerton added more fire to the rumors of the next Wolverine by confirming that he has indeed met with Kevin Feige to discuss the role. Adding to my own speculation, he was also on Kimmel last week, and the dude is buff. Like the biggest I've ever seen him. And I don't see any other movies on his docket that would require that kind of physique. Am I reading too much into this, or do you think he could already have the role? All right. Thanks a lot for saying that in, Justin. Who is going to be the next Wolverine? That's kind of been, I think, the biggest question in movies other than who's going to be the next Bond, right? That's clearly the number one question. Who's the next Bond? But I honestly think after that is who's the next Wolverine. There's been a lot of talk recently about who's going to be Reed Richards. Yeah, that's fine because that's been very present with Doctor Strange. But I think the bigger question is who's going to be the next Wolverine. Hugh Jackman, who nobody liked when they cast him. Nobody liked the casting of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine when they announced it. What, that pretty boy, Broadway boy? The musical boy? He's 6'3". He's a pretty boy. He's a song and dance man. He can't be Wolverine. That was all of us, right? That was all of us. Who did they get to play Wolverine? Hugh, what? He's an Aussie who's 6'3", who's a pretty boy song and dance guy. Yeah, that's not Wolverine. And nobody liked it. Nobody liked it. And now we can't even imagine Wolverine being played by anybody else, right? Like he played that role so well. And he just embodied it. He became our Wolverine. And I almost guarantee you, whoever they cast as Wolverine next is going to get almost the same reaction. They got that guy's not Wolverine. Whoever they cast is going to get the same reaction. Now, one of the whispers going around has been Eddie the Eagles and the Kingsman's Taron Egerton. Now, this is particularly interesting because Taron Egerton's co-star in Eddie the Eagle, which is a great movie, by the way, if you haven't seen it, is Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman and Taron Egerton star in that movie together, which is kind of fun. And again, if you haven't seen Eddie the Eagle, you should really watch it. It's a really good movie. Based on a true story. It's fabulous. Anyway. Now, Taron Egerton, who has, I believe, tips in at around 5'9", is a little more height appropriate, I suppose. But here's the big thing. He's saying that he has talked to Marvel about playing Wolverine. Now, again, what Hugh Jackman has proved is that Wolverine does not need to be short. He doesn't need to be short. There's not a single movie fan who's ever thought there's something wrong with this Wolverine because he's too tall. Maybe some hardcore comic fans, but average movie-going fans, they feel no need for it. Now, all things being equal, I wouldn't mind seeing a slightly more comic-accurate Wolverine. I wouldn't mind that. And lean more into his Canadianness while you're at it. Lean a little bit more into Wolverine's Canadianness. I think that's important too. Anyway. Taron Egerton is now saying he's actually met with Kevin Feige to discuss being Wolverine. This comes from the folks over at Deadline who wrote the following. Taron Egerton has revealed that he has been in talks with Kevin Feige and other Marvel Studio executives about taking on the role of Wolverine, previously brought to screen, of course, by Hugh Jackman. Egerton said the following, I don't think it would be wrong to say that. I'd be excited, but I'd be apprehensive as well, because Hugh is so associated with the role that I'd wonder if it'd be very difficult for someone else to do it. But hopefully, if it does come around, they'll give me a shot. Of course, that comes to us from Deadline, quoting Taron Egerton. Okay. Again, what would I think about Taron Egerton playing the role? Well, I mean, first of all, they mentioned that he's looking pretty good these days. Take a look at this. This is Taron Egerton in a recent photo of him working out. Hey, hats off to the dude. He looks fantastic, right? Yeah, I mean, that's not just a guy who's in good shape. That guy looks awesome. He looks great. He's kind of got a little bit of a Wolverine physique. Could I stand to see another 10, 15 pounds on him? Yeah. Yep, I wouldn't mind seeing another 10 to 15 pounds on him, but he can get there. He looks fantastic. As far as what would I think of Taron Egerton playing Wolverine, you always know what I always say about this, right? I don't care about X actor and X role. I don't care. The only thing that matters is the person they're looking at a good actor? Everything else can be worked around. You can dye an actor's hair. You can put color contact lenses in them. You can do them up in the right costume. You know, it doesn't matter what their height is. I mean, at the end of the day, what all that really matters is, are they a good actor? Hugh Jackman became iconic as Wolverine because he's a really good actor. That's it. Nothing else mattered. We were all able to get over he's 6'3", he's a Broadway pretty boy. We all got over that because he's a really good actor and winning cures everything, right? And whether Taron Egerton would be my first choice or not is besides the point. The reality is, Taron Egerton is a really good actor. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's a top 10 actor in the world. I don't believe that. But he's really good. He's got real legitimate chops. And again, watching him and Eddie the Eagle with Hugh Jackman, like that really takes it home. He's fabulous in that. So I will say this. If they ultimately come out and say, this kid, he's 32 years old, he's not a kid, but this kid is our new Wolverine, I'm down with it. I'm totally down with it. But, and there is a big but here, I have one particular thing that makes this seem unlikely to me. One part of this story that makes it seem unlikely that he's actually in serious talks to be Wolverine. And that is this. Marvel and Kevin Feige always keeps this stuff completely under wraps. Marvel is probably the most secretive of the studios. You've seen other actors joke about, when they're on late night talk shows and they get asked something about the movie and they're like, oh, I got to be careful looking for the little red laser scope dots on me. Kevin Feige's got his snipers everywhere. That's the thing. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Guys, I have been an enthusiastic fan and user of Storyblocks for years. I go to them whenever I'm in need of content creation assets like royalty-free music, video clips, or templates for my creative projects, ranging anywhere from little editorial videos to my very own full-feature documentary. Storyblocks helps you bring your stories, videos, and projects to life without sacrifices due to time, budget, or access to resources. They have over 1 million different story assets ranging from stock videos, audio and music, an in-browser video editor, and they feature pre-designed templates, animations, and outros. Storyblocks uses an affordable subscription model, and their unlimited access plans offers, unlimited video and audio downloads rather than a costly pay-per-clip model. With Storyblocks, you'll be able to create more content and, more importantly, better content, all while using a subscription plan that fits your budget, utilizing unlimited downloads of demand-driven and diverse content. So if you're interested in upping your content creation game, head over to www.storyblocks.com/Campea and get started today. That's www.storyblocks.com/Campea. He Kevin Feige keeps all this stuff under wraps. I have a hard time believing that if Taron Egerton really is in legitimately serious talks about becoming the new Wolverine, which I'm perfectly good with, I have a really hard time believing that Kevin Feige is like, yeah, go ahead and tell the press about that. Go ahead and tell the press about that. It's all good. We don't care. I don't know. So again, all this is fine. I believe Taron Egerton. It's just that one little detail is going to be itching against the side of my brain until we get total clarity on this, which is, since when did Kevin Feige change his policy about keeping everything tight-lipped? When did Kevin Feige suddenly be okay with letting an actor go out and just talk about this stuff and their meetings and what they may or may not do with Wolverine? We still don't know what they're doing with Reed Richards, right? We still don't know that. But he's cool with Taron Egerton going out and just talking about this. Again, maybe he is. Maybe he is. Maybe this is just Kevin Feige letting Taron Egerton say this stuff publicly to kind of gauge what the public reaction is. But quite honestly, Kevin Feige, and this is what makes him brilliant, he doesn't give a shit what the public reaction is. Kevin Feige knows what he thinks is best, and he's going to do what he thinks is best. And that's why he's so successful. But still, it just sits a little bit weird to me. So I don't know. By the way, I'm seeing some people fire in, I want Karl Urban as Wolverine. Here's the problem. I love Karl Urban, right? Karl Urban's fantastic. He was my personal guest. He was on my Masters of the Web panel at Comic-Con one year. He allowed me to be the moderator at the first screening of Dread, and I got to moderate the Q&A with him and everybody else. I love Karl Urban. He's great. I love him as Billy Butcher and the boys. But Karl Urban is 50 years old. I don't think you can start your Wolverine character, your brand new MCU Wolverine, who you hope can play this character for 10, 12 years. I don't know that you can start with somebody who is 50. If it was a one shot, like if you're doing like an Old Man Logan or like doesn't even have to be Old Man Logan. If you're doing like a one shot Logan movie, I could totally see Karl Urban doing it. Totally. Can Karl Urban be our Wolverine for the next decade already being 50, which means the first Wolverine movie, the first movie with Wolverine, considering they haven't started shooting anything, obviously, wouldn't come out until he's like 52, 53. I don't know that works. I just don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about, again, bring this up again. The dude's looking the part. Taron Egerton's looking the part. But what do you think about this? Taron Egerton is saying he has met with Kevin Feige and the execs of Marvel to discuss playing Wolverine. Do you like the idea? Do you not like the idea? Do you believe it? Or are you like me going, would Kevin Feige let people say that? I don't know. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there.